what exactly is ONDC?
Okay, so let's start with that, right? It's something that is unique in the sense that it is something which is DPI, right? It is digital public good, which basically means that we are building something without a profit motive. As in, ONDC is not a profit-driven organization. What we're building is something which is for and to activate out and allow for an unbundled and an interoperability of it. To give you an example of what is unbundling and interoperability, right? If you're sitting on Gmail and somebody else is sitting on Hotmail, it doesn't mean that you will not be able to send emails to each other. It just means that because both of them are literally on the same rails, right? They've created the same structure and the same way that they can actually communicate with each other. They're able to send an email from one system to another system, right? As long as you're on SMTP, you'll be able to do it. Similarly speaking, a little less interoperable or unbundled, but it is not possible that you will walk into a bank and submit a check and expect that the other person, if there is money in the bank, do not honor that check, right? Generally, it will work because that is also, there is an interoperability built out to it. That's where we started off and looked at it and said, okay, if all of that is there, and it can, and we have direct line examples of that already happening, why can't we do that in the commerce space? So in the platform world, just to deep dive and give you more information about ONDC, in a platform world, the platform manages the customer also, they also manage the seller also, they manage the entire logistics side to it. So everything is in a self-contained unit. Now, what that basically means is that if they are in that one space, they are controlling what the customer gets to see. They are also managing to control the sellers, and they are managing the user experience. Right. Now, how about if we turn around and just break it up and literally from an unbundled and interoperable perspective, turn around and say each one of these are now functions. Everybody does not have to try and do everything because you may not be very good at something. Right, you might be good at another factor, which means that you could be very, very good at doing seller acquisitions. I mean, all the sellers in a particular locality, you have the ability to go out and get all of them, but you don't have the ability to do customer acquisition. Right. Similarly speaking, you may be very, very good at being able to pick up a product from a point and deliver it to somewhere else to do the logistics side to it, but you may not be able to do customer acquisition or seller acquisition on the other side to it. Right? So why are we trying to not leverage the economies of scale for all practical purposes of saying that somebody's already done something, right? Leverage that and move forward on that. Don't try and recreate the wheel on every little function. So what that also means is that if I have, so as I said, right, if there is a buyer app and a seller app, a buyer and a seller side on a particular platform, if I just break it up and I turn around and say there is now a buyer side application, which responsibility is to interact with the customer, right? Think of them as only as the agents for the customer. Their only role in life is to look after the customer. Similarly speaking, there is a seller application whose only role in life is to look after the sellers, right? So there is no cross purpose, there is nothing like that happening. What that means now is that the moment I have both of these two separated out components to it, hopefully they will also be able to provide better service to their endpoints. So what ONDC does is saying that there is a buyer application, and the buyer application can be somebody like a telco, can be Paytm, pin code, anybody, right? Or a taxi cab company, etc. And you are going to them and turning around saying whether you want to buy a refrigerator or you want to buy their type of products, or you want to buy food, or you want to buy fashion, anything. Right. They are going to take that request, send it to the ONDC gateway. Okay. And that is all that is ONDC. ONDC is just that gateway. There is no front end, there is no back end, etc., etc.
Got it.
And the other side to it, it gets sent to various seller side applications who are dealing with that particular type of product. Now, their sellers are locked into them. So everybody now responds back onto the same buyer application that the customer started with.
Got it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Customer journey stays on that buyer application itself. So the
Right.
customer is not getting hived off somewhere else. Okay.
Mhm.
So the customer decides what product it is. And the moment they decide what product it is, ONDC steps out of the picture. Remember, we are not trying to build another platform, right? We are
True.
only there for search and discovery. So the
Mhm.
moment we step out, now it becomes a digital contract between the buyer application on behalf of the customer and the seller application on behalf of the seller.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
And now there's a contract. So the product flow happens one way, and using the recon service provider model that we've built out,
Mhm.
which utilizes NBBL also as one of the settlement agencies, money flow
Mhm.
will happen the other way.
Understood.